How you doing? This is Damani Corbin coming to you from Weaveworks. I want to shoot a couple of videos just kind of explaining Kubernetes. Weaveworks, we are the GitOps company. We are the experts in the Kubernetes space. Whether you are starting off on your Kubernetes journey or you are trying to scale multiple enterprise applications, we are here to help. Stay tuned and thank you for listening in. Good afternoon. My name is Damani Corbin here from Weaveworks.
And I'm Mark Ram, also from Weaveworks.
We were just having a conversation, and Mark is our product manager for Weave Kubernetes platform, and he was talking about Kubernetes. And Kubernetes is difficult, and it's difficult to install inside the enterprise, and he was trying to help me better explain it to the C-levels inside these accounts. So we were talking about imperative infrastructure versus declarative infrastructure and what does that mean inside of the data center. And I wanted to understand it and I related it to my two sons. So example A of an imperative infrastructure is I'm trying to teach my children how to play catch. So one way is to say, hey, Malik, turn left 15 degrees, walk 10 steps to the right, then throw with X amount of force in Y direction. And then the end result will be the ball will be placed that his brother will be able to catch it. Another way of explaining it to my child will be a declarative way in saying, Malik, you should be close enough, you should be facing your brother, and you should throw it with enough strength to get to your brother. So these are two separate or different ways of explaining to my children how to play catch. And I think that's a digestible example of what we're talking about.
And in the same way, Kubernetes says, this is the goal state, this is what I think where we should end up. And there's a bunch of, are we close enough? How do I adjust? Routines are we facing? How do I adjust routine? Am I throwing with enough force? Kubernetes has a bunch of controllers that take a declarative view of what should be running and then make those into reality. The other approach is to try and do things one step at a time and get the same result. This is what you would do if you were just using Bash to script deploying those same services. The thing that is completely different here is that if there are failures, the goal state can say, oh, like your brother moved, you should turn because he's moved. Your brother is too far away, you should move closer to him. Those things can happen as real-time corrections because what Malik is given is a set of goals for how to do this, as opposed to set of specific instructions for what to do.
Sure. So in Kubernetes does a lot of magic, and it automatically assumes that it's smart enough to figure those things out, as opposed to other methods or other ways in that it doesn't account for, is it raining? Is it windy? Is it sunny outside? Did your brother go inside for for some water instead of standing in the position that he was supposed to? So that's just a quick.
Exactly. And this, in robotics, if we were trying to teach robots to play catch, that if we use goal states as opposed to imperative programming, we can create a system that is resilient to change in the environment. And in a certain way, what we're trying to do in Kubernetes is teach robots how to do operations. And so we want to declare the goal state and then functions that know how to get to that goal state, as opposed to write a whole bunch of imperative commands that we run in order. And the thing that GitOps adds to this is that we take this goal state and instead of storing it only in Kubernetes, we store it in Git so we can track changes over time. We can understand, oh, what has changed about the goal that we are looking for in terms of what is running in our data center, as opposed to what are the individual steps that we need to take to get the data center to look slightly different in this next move.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. This is Damani Corbin and Mark Ram from Weaveworks.